And this is what I gotta clean up before I start recording. Whew! The life of a video guy is hard! Well, hello there everybody, I'm Photo Dave, this is Toypixx, and in this video, I'm gonna be doing something a little bit different. I'm going to look back at all the Star Wars Black Series action figures that were revealed at Star Wars Celebration and talk about what it would take to get me to buy each one, to make them perfectly photogenic figures for the pickiest collector on YouTube. Okay, I can't actually claim that, but I'm pretty darn picky. Now, as always, I'm going to make sure to have product links in the video description below. Those are affiliate links, and if you use those links to pick up any of this stuff, it helps out the channel, nay, it helps out me, and I greatly appreciate it. So, without further ado, let's get to this. Okay, the first figure we're looking at is Artoo-Detoo, and I have to say, there's not much they can do with this one. This one's looking really good. The only thing holding me back is I've become a bit of an action figure snob and I want my main characters to primarily be SH Figuarts. So what I'm going to do with this R2 is I'm going to sit back and I'm going to wait for some reviews to start coming in. And if the reviews start saying how great it is, besides just the fact that it's got a much better scale, then I'll probably jump on this thing because what does it hurt to have a couple R2s? Besides the wallet. Next is Cad Bane, and I think he looks great. The one thing I have to say about the Black Series figures is I think the designers do a really good job with them. They're just not allowed to do everything, whether that's Lucasfilm or corporate, that is required for yours truly to pick things up. Cad Bane, for instance. I would like to see a deeper cut in the elbows. Right now it looks like he can only go 90 degrees. And I'd also like hands that are kind of probably relaxed would be all I'd need. Because you know when you're watching an old Western and you see everybody standing there and there's a shot from behind one of them and his fingers are doing this like he's about to reach for the gun? I think Cad Bane, especially in Book of Boba Fett, that was perfect for an old school Western style looking shootout. And if he had hands that were like this, like getting ready to pull the gun out of the holster, that would be really sweet. So for me, when it comes to Cad Bane, he's got the trigger fingers, he's got the guns, he's got all the accessories he really needs. What he could use are a couple extra hands and a deeper cut at the elbow. Next up is Darth Vader, and I have to say, again, the designers absolutely nailed it. Now, when it comes to any kind of Jedi or Sith, I would like to see some Force hands, stuff like that a little bit. That would be cool. When it comes to this specific Vader, it looks again, and I can't be 100%, but it looks like it would be good if he could bend his elbows, bend his arms here a little more. Like, he looks like he's at maybe 90, maybe just a touch more would be good. That would make me happy. But I have to be honest, when it comes to this Vader, he's pretty much out of the running in my collection just because I already have the SHF one, and it's got tons of hands and all the good stuff. So I'm out, but depending on how this goes, when I see things moving forward, it might be a Vader that I look at everybody and say, guys, if you didn't get the SHF one, if you don't want the SHF one, this is a pretty good looking Vader, because honestly, again, he looks great. Next, let's chat a little bit about Dok Ondar. Now, I don't remember this guy at all, and I've seen everything that's ever been on TV or in the theaters when it comes to Star Wars. So if he was on something, it wasn't all that memorable to me. That said, he's a great looking alien. And if he were somebody I recognized from the original trilogy, I probably would be in, because he's one of those figures that can kind of just sit in the background and he doesn't need a lot of crazy hands and articulation and all that good stuff. So, honestly, the only thing they did wrong when it comes to this figure is, I guess, not have him in the original trilogy, or possibly afterwards. I don't know. If he showed up in anything in kind of the Filoni-verse that's going on, let me know, because I might change my mind when it comes to old Dok here. Now we've got the Royal Guard, and honestly, considering basically all he did in Return of the Jedi was stand there, the fact that he looks like he can actually get into some dynamic action stuff makes him a figure that I might be into. I might actually get a couple of these guys. And when it comes to a background character, kind of like Dok Ondar, like the Royal Guard here, I don't need a lot of stuff. It's just, do I want it badly enough to put it in the collection, especially when I have a bunch of stuff out there on pre-order right now. Oh, good lord. MoffX hates me. And now we have the Force Ghost Anakin, Yoda, and Obi-Wan set. I have to say, when it comes to picks, I'm generally not into stuff that is honestly really just there for display. I love all things Yoda, so that's tempting. And I'm also not sure about Hayden Christensen's head when it comes to this specific scene. I think Sebastian Shaw was pretty perfect for this. So when Lucas made this change, I kind of thought, this guy looks a little young to be, the Force Ghost when he was much older, when he died, all that stuff. I don't know. I'm trying to put it in my head right now. It just doesn't make sense to me. There might be a canonical reason that it does make sense, and if that's the case, let me know in the comments. But again, this set is something that looks good, but all it would do is stand there. I would honestly pick it up for Yoda and maybe that little fence thing that's there with him. Yeah. So I guess there's not much the designers could have done there except make the Anakin head Sebastian Shaw, and my gut is that was a Lucasfilm decision more so than a Hasbro one. Now I'm looking at Gaming Greats Darth Maul, and the one thing that makes me nervous is I always figure when the photographer hasn't taken a photo of the figure with its arm in greater than a 90-degree bend, I kind of figure it just can't do it. So that always makes me nervous, especially with a Jedi character or a Sith character, one of those Force-using type characters like Darth Maul here. So that I'm not great with. He's Gaming Great, so I probably wouldn't get him anyway, but he's still Darth Maul, and he's still cool, and he still deserves a little more bend at the elbow. And because he's Darth Maul, there's not a lot of fisticuffs with Jedi and Sith. It would again be good if he just had an extra set of Force-wielding hands. So an extra set of Force-wielding hands, and again, greater degree of motion, greater range of motion at the elbow. That would actually get me to consider picking up this Darth Maul. Now we're looking at everyone's favorite space slug, Jabba the Hutt, and I gotta say, guys, I don't know what else they could do to make me want this more. Yeah, they could have thrown in kind of, what would you even call it, a throne, like the flat panel that he sits on, but I have seen that customizers are making those, so I might be able to pick one of those up. But yeah, I feel like Jabba was kind of a major villain in Return of the Jedi, and so he's somebody that should be in my collection. And honestly, looking at this thing, I don't know what they could do to make me want him more. Aside, again, like I said, from that throne. Now, chances are the price is going to be a little rough, but kind of like Wicket, who is way too expensive for what he is, I don't know that we'll ever get a better Jabba. Just like with that Wicket, I don't think we'll ever get a better Wicket, so I spent the money and figure I'm done. I don't need any more Wickets, and that might be the case with Jabba here too. And finally, we have Luke Skywalker from Return of the Jedi. And again, the designers made him look darn good. But I wish whoever was at Hasbro or Lucasfilm saying we can't have double jointed elbows, or we can't have a little more of a cut at the elbow so that you could get more range. I wish they'd change their mind, because this Luke needs that range. And, just like everybody else, he needs the Force-wielding hands. Now, what we've got here is great. I think they nailed it. I even think that the likeness is pretty good. I know Hamill can be tough, but I think the likeness is pretty sweet. Now again, just me being me, I have a Return of the Jedi Luke that actually was disguised as a Mando Luke from SHF, so I'm good to go. He's got all the hands I need, he's got the parts and everything else, but I would like to be able to look at this Luke and start thinking, hey, that's a more affordable option. That's something that would look good in front of the camera, but for my collection, I just can't. I want to, but I can't. But I'm hoping with a video like this, maybe the designers will see and be able to say, hey, guys, really, if we do just a little bit, maybe we'll get a few more sales, because it's all about the sales, right? Hopefully the sales would balance out the extra hands and all that. I don't know, I'm talking out my you-know-what, and I'm insanely picky. I think I'm pickier than most of the people that collect their stuff, so for them to cater to me, that'd kind of be ridiculous. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how Hasbro's C-Suite could get me to buy more of their Star Wars Black Series figures. Again, I always want to say this whenever the video warrants it, I don't blame the designers one bit. I think if they could, they'd give us everything we want, but, well, the bosses, they won't let them. I mean, maybe everything is a little cost prohibitive, but a few extra things, I think they could get away with it. Anywho, comment below and let me know, are you picking any of these up? Are you as picky as I am? What did you think of Star Wars Celebration overall? I have to say, I really dug what they said about the movies, even though I'm not really going to get excited for any of them except for Filoni's, because I figure he's high enough up there where his will actually get made. There's just too many Lucasfilm projects that get announced and then just go away. Yeah. Anyway, thanks as always for watching, folks. I sincerely appreciate it. It's a blast to make the videos, and it's a blast to see so many people checking them out. So, there you have it. Until next time, have fun, and happy snapping. See ya.